Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Now, staying on the whole hypocrisy tip, let me ask y'all a question. When is a crime not a crime? Or when isn't a crime a heinous crime? Or when is a crime not a hate crime? The answer is when the liberals commit it. I definitely understand that the mainstream media reaches about minimum still 65% of the general public, which means that the general public is fed bullshit and completely unaware of what's truly going on in all aspects and details. Here recently, I think it was in North Dakota, a grown-ass man ran over a teenager over a political argument. He called him a right-wing extremist. This grown-ass man called an 18-year-old a right-wing extremist and feared for his life. He was in a vehicle, but they had got into an argument earlier, apparently, from what the killer said. I'm going to call him what he is. He's a killer. From what the killer says, he got into an argument with a child earlier, felt threatened, hunted him down with his vehicle and ran him over. For starters, you a grown-ass man. As a person who does ride share for a living, who picks up around these damn colleges, they're kids, man. I do understand that a lot of the things that they say can upset you, irritate you, maybe even set you off. Because I remember an instance, I was picking up 3 kids from SMU, which is a very, what's the word I'm looking for here? Fuck being politically correct. A very rich ass school, private university, Southern Methodist University. And these kids talked like you would expect kids from a hoity-toity, high-priced, expensive-ass private college to speak. They spoke so disparagingly about women that I was not only ready to punch them in the mouth, but I was ready to quit doing rideshare. They irritated me and pissed me off so bad. They were, I think, maybe my second or third ride of the day, and I was done. Fuck making money, I'm done. That's how bad those children had gotten under my skin. Did I want to run them over? No. Do I think they needed to be taught a lesson in respect? Yes. But one of the reasons I kept my mouth shut and let them talk amongst themselves is because they are children. Their view on the world is quite narrow. They haven't experienced shit. So I link that to this asshole who ran over an 18-year-old because of political disagreement. He's 18, brother. It's so stupid. The boy just became available to vote. So the point of this is the hypocrisy is that why don't more people know about this? Because I'm willing to bet that half the audience that are listening to me right now, I had no idea about this. That's because I've said it before, and it's been proven over and over again, that the mainstream bullshit media is controlled by the libs. They're controlled by the left. If it doesn't fit their narrative that conservatives are all right-wing, MAGA, Donald Trump extremists, then you won't hear it. At best, it'll be a footnote at the crawl at the bottom of a news network screen. That's all you'll get on it. You won't get the full truth about it, but you'll be fed lies repeatedly. Like when Joe Stalin, I'm sorry, I meant Biden. I'm not sorry, y'all. Come on. Y'all know good and damn well I don't say I'm sorry. When Joseph Stalin Biden gave his Darth Vader style speech and called MAGA Republicans, MAGA supporters, ultra MAGA people a threat to democracy, y'all don't see that as an inflammatory statement? Y'all don't see that as riling people up? Hell, we had politicians riling people up.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
You got to be ready to throw a punch. You have to be ready to throw a punch.
Donald Trump, I think you need to go back and punch him in the face.
That I thought he should have punched him in the face.
I feel like punching him.
I'd like to take him behind the gym if I were in high school. If we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him. No, I wish we were in high school, I could take him behind the gym.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
Take him out now.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
And you push back on them, and you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
Please, get up in the face of some Congress people.
People will do what they do.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
We're going to go in there, we're going to...
Well, this is just a warning to you Trumpers. Be careful. Walk lightly. And for those of you who are soldiers, make them pay.
If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be?
Does one of us have to come out alive?
Yeah, you heard him. And that was a prominent list of politicians. And for all my audio listeners only, it was a video that had several big name politicians. That's what y'all heard. They have their pictures. So if y'all go watch it on my BitChute channel, my Rumble channel, on my video channels, y'all will see it. But yeah, those were big name politicians, essentially inciting and openly calling for physical resistance, protest, fights. Y'all heard that right. Yet what they always say is it's the right extremists. It's people like the Proud Boys. They're the threat. White supremacy, that's the threat. The Summer of Love, the George Floyd riots. How many white supremacists did y'all see burning down police stations, defacing and destroying court buildings, standing off against authority? How many extremists did y'all see in all the destruction? Oh, yeah, I thought so. But y'all won't. But the right, it's the right-wing extremists that are the threat. Biden stood up and lied that many lives were lost on the January 6th riot.
Some have already made the ultimate sacrifice in this sacred effort. Jill and I have mourned police officers in this Capitol Rotunda not once but twice in the wake of January 6th. Once to honor Officer Brian Sicknick, who lost his life the day after the attack, and a second time to honor Officer Billy Evans, who lost his life defending this Capitol as well.
One life was lost that day, and it was by one of the trespassers shot by a Capitol Hill cop. One life was lost that day. The officers that they say, they don't exist. No officers died that day. An officer died the next day, I think due to a stroke or a heart attack, unrelated to the riot. They are literally telling the general public lies. Half my listeners right now, they are lying to you, blatantly lying to you, because they want to keep you riled up. You see, they have to lie they have to manufacture violence and crimes when it comes to the far right, as they call it, the conservative side doing it. But they completely cover up when they openly do it. Because did y'all know that a few weeks after the Capitol riot, a Capitol cop was run over? Yeah, intentional vehicular homicide. A dude drove up there with his car with the intent to hit two of the officers standing guard. One of them died. Do you know why you don't hear about it? Because it wasn't a conservative / right-wing extremist that did it. It was an open Antifa member. I bet most of y'all had no idea that event even happened. But they want to talk about January 6th when Donald Trump told people, go home, go home.
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt.
We got to do this peacefully. Go home. No. They leave that part out. They say he stirred up the fire. And y'all heard what I just played for y'all. Let me play for y'all some of Biden's peaceful unifying rhetoric he wants to talk about, or the GOP. He wants to talk about the GOP being right-wing extremists and the Democrats and the liberals being so passive. Let's listen to how passive he is.
Too much of what's happening in our country today is not normal. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They do not recognize the will of the people. They refuse to accept the results of a free election. And they're working right now, as I speak, in state after state, to give power to decide elections in America to partisans and cronies, empowering election deniers to undermine democracy itself. MAGA forces are determined to take this country backwards. They promote authoritarian leaders and they fan the flames of political violence that are a threat to our personal rights, to the pursuit of justice, to the rule of law, to the very soul of this country. They look at the mob that stormed the United States Capitol on January 6th, brutally attacking law enforcement, not as insurrectionists who placed a dagger at the throat of our democracy, but they look at them as patriots. And they see their MAGA failure to stop a peaceful transfer of power after the 2020 election as preparation for the 2022 and 2024 elections. They tried everything last time to nullify the votes of 81 million people. This time, they're determined to succeed in thwarting the will of the people. MAGA Republicans have made their choice. They embrace anger. They thrive on chaos. They live not in the light of truth, but in the shadow of lies. For a long time, we've told ourselves that American democracy is guaranteed, but it's not. We have to defend it, protect it, stand up for it. Democracy cannot survive when one side believes there are only two outcomes to an election. Either they win or they were cheated. And that's where the MAGA Republicans are today. MAGA Republicans look at America and see carnage and darkness and despair. They spread fear and lies. Lies told for profit and power. The MAGA Republicans believe that for them to succeed, everyone else has to fail.
How passive did that sound to y'all? Okay. I'm not done. No. That'd be too easy. That's just, let's talk about something else. I think the town is called Waukesha up in Wisconsin. The dude that drove his car, SUV, he drove his SUV through a Christmas parade, killing many people. Did y'all know about that? See, my inner circle we knew because we don't listen to the mainstream media. We search out just fair news. I do have a news source for that, but I ain't getting paid by them, so I ain't promoting. Go out and find it on your own. And I can tell you this, if you just go out and look behind the facts of any case, just type in the case and enter the word facts after it, like Waukesha Christmas Parade facts. And you will find sites that will give you simply the facts. But on to that, the Waukesha, however you pronounce it, sorry if I'm mispronouncing it either way, that parade, that Christmas parade, where that man intentionally drove his SUV, killing people. Do you want me to tell you why the mainstream media didn't cover that? It was a black guy who openly had on his Facebook post how much he hated white people, how much he supported Antifa and BLM, how he couldn't wait to cause harm on white people. So he did. And because it doesn't fit the current and prevailing narrative of this nation, the liberal narrative, it barely got mentioned. And when it got mentioned, his background was never even mentioned. As a matter of fact, one of the insulting headlines was, and this is not a joke, SUV barrels through parade, kills people. SUV, not a man, not so-and-so, not man drives SUV. They made it sound like the SUV got up by itself, pulled a night rider, cut itself on, and just decided to start killing people. it became Car. That's for all my Knight Rider junkies. That was Kit. That was Car. Car was the evil one. Yeah, like it just became the evil version. You know, it was just, I'm going to kill. It became Christine 2021. Come on, man. Come on. Let's chill out. This is the hypocrisy and crime. See, when the left does it, it is ignored, suppressed, glossed over. The right does it, they don't. The left makes the bullshit up or blows it up to the extreme. Do y'all remember the New York City subway shooter? Do y'all remember that? I'm pretty sure half of y'all are going, oh, I vaguely remember that. Another black person that just lost his damn mind. But again, it doesn't fit the narrative. It's a black person who's striking out against the evil opposition, the ideological enemy. I know, sad, right? That hypocrisy even affects the way that laws are governed, that justice is dispersed. It has become political, and that has become full of hypocrisy. You know, the statue for justice is a lady holding scales that's blindfolded. Well, with the Democrats in charge, the blindfold needs to be off, and she needs her finger on the scale weighing down the GOP side. Man, we gonna stop it right there. You can catch the rest of that conversation on our Free Mind Thinkers podcast, which you can listen to wherever you listen to any of your favorite podcasts. We are on Amazon Music, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Pandora. So give us a listen there. If you like what you heard, then tell the world. Share, like the vid. If you have something to say, then please, we encourage everyone, drop a comment. Let us know what's on your mind. And you can find us all over social media. You can find our videos on BitChute, Odyssey, and YouTube. You can communicate with us through our various communication social media site platforms like Twitter, Rumble, Getter, Minds, Gab. Wherever you want to let your free mind thoughts flow, you'll find the Free Mind Thinkers. Plus, we are now setting up our locals page, which will soon load exclusive content for all those that become members. So stay tuned. Things are going to get greater. Y'all take it light. Remember to listen less, learn more.